Yeah.
Because, like, cockroaches are, like, harmless, right?
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do. But they... Oh, yeah, just... This big-ass bug. What am I supposed to do with that?
We had a lot of people get bed bugs on our mission. I don't know how we never did because
Where did you serve?
Oh, I didn't even answer that question.
No.
D.C. So, Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia.
And actually, my mission split when I was out there because they announced the age change when I was out there.
Oh, that's right.
So things were like growing super fast and everything was getting split. So I ended up in the Richmond mission for the last 6 months.
Was your... Wait, Richmond's like more... That's coastal, right?
Yeah, closer to the coast, southeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as far as Virginia.
Yeah, what'd you think of Virginia?
Oh, I liked it. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Virginia's cool. It's Northern Virginia is weird because it is very different from Virginia. Like everywhere else in Virginia is probably at least relatively similar.
Okay.
But Northern Virginia is like DC and the suburbs of DC.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a massive suburb of DC.
Right.
Like there's just so many people that live there. So the closer you get to DC, the less representative of like Virginia.
So the DMV is its own thing.
Right. The DMV?
Like DC, the whole like Maryland, Virginia.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say so.
Did no one call it the DMV? Am I making that up? I swear that's been said before.
That's probably a thing. I don't know. That doesn't.
But nobody in Virginia calls it.
The problem is our mission didn't go into Maryland, and so they were like, no M. This is
DV.
The DV.
You're like, I don't like that either, though.
What was a little bit of a bummer, actually, was that my mission didn't go into D.C. It bordered D.C. We had, like, Arlington and Mount Vernon and whatnot, but we didn't have D.C. proper. But because our mission was D.C., we could go to D.C. on P-Day. Thank God.
Sick. Okay.
Thank God. It was fun, yeah. So.
Oh, man. What else did I want to know? Okay. When you talk in your book about I want to say it was like day 700.
Yeah.
You get the split. That you go to a new mission.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The most annoying people on my mission were from the other mission when it split early on.
I was one of those people.
But the thing is like they wouldn't shut up about how cool their mission president was.
Uh-huh.
I was like, our mission president's cool too. Like you just don't know him.
I guess what was
your mission president in your book sounded like an asshole though.
So yeah,
I had
three, and I hated my last one. He accused me. He asked me one day. I think this is in the book. He's like, he called me up and he's like, "Did you start a gang?" I'm like, first of all, what the hell would a gang of missionaries look like? And to answer your question, no, but I wish I had. Here's the thing. I think I had said the word gang once. And somebody's like, "Oh my God,
Elder Williams is in a
starting a gang." I was like, I would have had much cooler stories if I had.
Yeah, what? I would have loved that.
But I think our problem was that we were the DC South missionaries were so outnumbered by the Richmond missionaries, like right off the bat, that like the example I use in the book was something that really happened. In the DC mission, we would snap our fingers as like applause. You can't clap in the chapel.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't clap at church.
But you can snap your fingers. And we get to transfer meeting in Richmond, like our first one.
Yeah.
There's a new mission president, and all the Richmond missionaries are there, and there's like maybe a fifth of us are DC South missionaries.
Right.
And something interesting or fun happens, or somebody says something, and people start snapping, and 4/5 of the people look around like, what the fuck is going on? 1/5 of the people, like we didn't do it as like look at us.
A fifth of the hosts of heaven,
literally,
one could say.
Yeah, exactly. Literally just a reflex for us. Like, this is what we do. I've been out here 18 months. Snapping. And he kind of looks around, he's like, well, that was weird, but I'm just going to move on. And then we do it again, and he like puts his hand over the mic, like talks to the APs, being like, do you know what the hell is happening? They're like, no, we don't. It's because anyway. And then we do it one more time, and he's had it. And he's like, okay, like no more. And we're like, oh. So anyway.
What a fun suck.
That was a very clear, like.
And that was your first interaction with him?
You're not in DC anymore, essentially. Yeah, that was my first interaction. That was my first interaction with him. Was him telling us that we couldn't do our. I get it, but yeah. He was
That's
that way about
tough.
everything.
Did you ever make it into leadership?
I was a district leader, and
Hell
around
yeah, baby, me too.
Around the time I thought I might become a zone leader, I didn't like the zone leaders very often in our mission. I just
feel that.
emailed the president, and I was like, "Don't make me a zone leader. Like zone leaders are fucking dumb." I didn't use those words, but
They were fucking dumb though.
yeah. Were you a zone leader?
No, I was on.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They tell you early on, don't covet leadership
Yeah,
as a missionary because you'll never get it, and B, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be, because I wanted like the whole. Did you guys have the glory of men? Did you guys make fun of that?
I don't think so.
We had this whole thing called GH, which was Glória dos Homens
Uh-huh.
in Portuguese, and it was for anybody who was like stuck up. It was for anybody who wanted leadership positions, who like. It was essentially like that guy who would go on a date after he came home and be like, I was assistant to the president.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
It's like that shithead.
I'm picking up what you're putting
So
down.
I definitely had that going.
We
into
had
it.
that, but we didn't have a name for it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Hopefully that made it less.
Yeah.
We empowered it in our mission with the title. But the problem is like, so I wanted this leadership. Never got it. I got to train. That was cool.
Yeah, train.
It's probably a better thing. I liked it a lot. But by the time I got it, I was like, why did I want this?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is lame. Zone leaders are riding my ass about numbers. I'm like, I don't know. We're trying our best, aren't we?
Yeah. If anything, I might have appreciated being a zone leader just because that would mean sometimes I would have less work to do.
Yeah.
Like knocking doors to do, I mean. They'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to go to this meeting. Oh, you got, but for me,
Different
responsibility.
less hot work.
Yeah, exactly. Less boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So your mission president sucked at the end. Was your first one good?
Yeah, he was cool. We only had him for maybe 3 months. That's why I had 3, because I came out, had one for about 3 months. He went home, and then I had one for about 15 months. And then at the end, I switched missions, and so I got my third one. First one was super cool. President Albright.
Nice.
He was a G. He was super cool. And then, yeah.
It's
Shit
downhill
happens.
from there.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Cadê meus questions? Oh, this is what didn't make it into the book? What's the cut line? Give me something that
Sure.
you're like, that made it, and then what didn't?
I would maybe say more of the shenanigans didn't make it in, even though they're more fun. It's like, how do you write about how like your roommate like gave his his companion sleeping pills in the morning with his eggs just so he didn't have to work that day? I'm like, that's like, I don't know if I should be writing about that. That's kind of weird. Or like the rule breaking maybe. There's definitely some rule breaking where I'm like, I'm not ashamed, but I'm also not proud. But also I'm like, I don't like I feel like sometimes the disobedience didn't feel like it fit in the book. if that
No,
makes sense.
because I liked the tone that you kept throughout the book. Is like that you tried to. It was a tale of like, I'm trying to do my best. This is what my best looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm going from a place where you're telling me what my best is to I'm telling me what my best is.
Right. So, and I think you could write a whole book that's like, the wacky stories of a mission.
Oh, totally.
They're still 18 to 22-year-old men.
Yeah.
They're going to get into some weird stuff. But, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of that stuff I didn't feel like fit the mold of what I was.
No.
Like, yeah, it's fun. But I feel like, if anything, people that were Mormon would just be like, well, this guy is like a lunatic. Or like, this guy, this is why. His faith-
loves the church.
This is what, yeah, but I'm like, no, like that stuff kept me sane, But anyway, I did have a companion or a roommate who gave his companion sleeping pills with his eggs in the morning so that he didn't have to work that day.
That's incredible.
It's kind of funny. He stole them from the food bank we were volunteering at.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I won't. I
Wow.
won't name any names. I just remember the kid getting up at like 6 p.m. and be like, "Oh my gosh,
What?
I'm so sorry. Like I just laid down for a nap. I don't know what happened." He slept for hours. Like, I don't know how much he put in. Like,
oh my God.
As like an 18-year-old or 19-year-old, that's funny.
Oh, so funny.
But looking back, I'm like, I would not give somebody who I don't know their medical history, so many sleeping pills that they go back to bed for like 8 more hours. But
that's too crazy.
It was funny at the time. It wasn't me, but I was there for it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Craziest thing you did on your mission that you're willing to go on camera on? Can I tell you mine?
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to go to the mall.
Yeah.
And they had a McDonald's at the mall that we were like, we're gonna go to it. We got to go to McDonald's. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
I think this is my last transfer.
And have you not been to McDonald's this whole time?
Haven't been to McDonald's at all.
2 years.
2 years of no McDonald's. And so we go to the mall McDonald's, and then one of the missionaries was like, hey, what if we did go-karts? And I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, that'd be pretty fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and so we did go-karts, and it was fun. I had a blast. The problem was, like, much like you're talking about, like, yeah, as an 18-year-old, this sounds great. All I could think about was, like, oh, yeah, like, we're going to be safe in the go-karts. Yeah. But I'm thinking about, like, oh, if my mission president heard about that, like, one of us got hurt riding go-karts in a mall. Like, the amount of, like, liability, rule breaking, like, just kind of, like, stupid that we were doing. Like, and it was awesome. It kept me sane.
Yeah.
I was so excited to do something. Like, and we were doing it on our day off. We weren't doing it on, like, a rando day.
It's funny to feel bad about riding go-karts, but that's the effect of
it's
going on a
impressive,
mission.
because that's the other thing I feel like about talking about some of these, like, rule-breaking stories is, like, that was our idea of, like, major rule breaking.
Yeah, of, like, causing a problem.
Yeah.
So, mine was probably... So my brother came out to live in D.C. and was working. He had an internship while I was...
Was this Matt or your other brother?
This is my brother, Matt. He worked in D.C. on... He had I don't know exactly what it was, a journalism internship or communications internship of some sort. And I'll say he convinced me, but I was willingly convinced. He convinced me to let him come pick me up and my roommate and take us out of our mission to a movie theater to see... Man of Steel, Superman movie, which wasn't great.
I was going to say, I'm like, that's what you picked?
At like 11 p.m. It was just like, so you went to a movie a few towns over that was kind of late. That's your big thing that you did. But yeah.
But I'm thinking back to all the mission rules. I'm like, oh my God.
Here's the thing I will say that was...
You're not allowed to talk to your family.
He did take us out of our Richmond mission back to our DC mission. So I was like, this is...
back, baby.
He took us back home.
DC South.
Yeah, don't tell my parents. Yeah, we went to a movie late once. It's the only time I went to a movie theater. Yeah, on the mission.
On your mission, did you have, like, correspondence with anybody? Were you writing any of your buddies?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it was particularly interesting. Because we were bad at it. Yeah, email. One of my friends, Zach, his mom would put together like a newsletter, and so she would bother me all the time when I hadn't got on my mission yet, and was like, "Hey, Zach's on his mission. Like, I'm putting together a newsletter. Like, say what you've been up to for the last month." And I was like, I don't. But then when I was out there, I don't think I missed a single time of, like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't busy.
It changed, yeah.
Yeah. So, but. Dakota and I would write letters now and then.
Okay.
Usually involved sending back and forth. What was it? It was a stupid card. I don't know. It was like a playing card. Had like Power Rangers on it.
Okay.
And then I like laminated it and sent it back to him. And then I don't know. I guess now that I think about it, there's really not a story there. But yeah.
That's the other mind-blowing thing of, like, how many times I was like, this is the coolest. Yeah. And then just getting back to real life, you're like, this is nothing. There's nothing here.
And that's the thing, I think, when I look back on mission stories where I was like, oh, I have this story and this story and this story. And I'm like, no, this story is that somebody dropped their baby. That's not a story. That's just like a thing that happened in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I really liked the family that happened to. So I spent a chapter of like introducing them as characters and kind of worked in some other things. But
was that the Hughes family?
The Hughes, yeah. I feel like when you're writing about, when you're trying to tell people about your experiences, you really have to confront the fact that not very many of your experiences are that interesting. But I mean, I still managed to stretch it into 93,000 words. So what are you gonna do?
Hoops, dude. Okay, I got one last question. We've talked a little bit about like how tedious the mission is, and that was kind of one of like the major, I don't know if you would say this is the major reason of writing it, but it is a big explainer of like, hey, this is this untold part of this really extensive and really important experience that so many of us go through. What are the other parts that people don't understand about the mission?
I do feel like I tried to hit them in my book as like, if there's something that normal people couldn't understand, or I guess if there's something that let me see if I can articulate this.
Do it when a car goes by.
Anyone who didn't serve a mission can't understand what it's like and what the headspace is like. I would say if there's one thing that those people, or maybe one thing that I didn't necessarily capture in my book that those people couldn't understand, is maybe how much the mission messes you up.
Yeah.
Like I went from like a pretty well-adjusted, like younger kid to like an adult who took things much more seriously and had way higher anxiety. Maybe had like finally dipped their toes into like some form of depression, you know, like it messed me up for a good while.
Right.
And I do think there's a lot of learning experiences and there's a lot of good things that I took from it. That's maybe like a question that I always think is interesting asking people who have served missions is did you regret your mission?
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, you know, I feel like I grew enough and I went through enough difficulty that it's hard to regret it as a whole. You know, I went through so many experiences, but it's like, man, yeah, I do feel like I wasted those 2 years for sure. Like I didn't accomplish anything really meaningful except for like kind of maybe growing and changing, meeting some people, experiencing a new part of the world that I wouldn't have otherwise. So there are things that I guess I don't know if I have a question for whether or not I regret it. I would say overall probably, but there's enough good and enough like memories, and there's kind of not really a reason to bother regretting it that I guess maybe I don't, but would I do it again? Absolutely not. You know?
No, that never made sense to me and granted, like I haven't been active in church in a long time either.
Yeah.
But like having active friends tell me, oh man, like if they called me, I'd be out there tomorrow. I'm like, why?
I don't believe them.
No, I don't believe him either. Like really? Like telling people on the mission, like, yeah, I put my life on hold to do this for 2 years. And I remember early on thinking like, did I really though? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I was having a blast at college. Like I had made some of like the best relationships I'd ever made in my life. I was doing my own thing. I was away from home for the first time.
Yeah. Right.
I was here in this godforsaken state.
Yeah.
And loving it.
Yeah.
Even though I was at BYU.
Especially,
and like to give it up for 2 years, like, no, I was trying to get
crazy,
home
right?
earlier.
Yeah.
And then I did. And it was great.
Yeah. No, I had never believed the people.
No.
There were so many people that were like on their way out the door that they were like, if I could switch places with you, I would. Oh. Bullshit.
Let's switch. Let's do it.
Right now.
I'll switch you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of doubters there.
I don't even remember what your question was.
Well, I mean, it wasn't do you regret it, but like
that
what?
Was me.
It was more of like what, what do people understand? And I think the point I wanted to come back to was like, you talk about like if you didn't do it, you won't get it. Because I think about like how when men say like we're pregnant, I'm like your wife's pregnant. Right. You're sharing in an experience that you'll never understand.
No, for sure.
And to a much different degree, ladies, I understand. Missions are not pregnancy. Because we got to carry this shit 2 years, not 9 months. It's a week. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, ladies.
I'm joking.
But like, yeah, it's this thing where I'm like, you just don't get it. To your point about like screwing up your headspace, like I was 20 years old 2 weeks past fist fighting my mission companion, telling people that they needed to stop arguing as a couple so that they could get married. I've barely had a long-term girlfriend in my life at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
I've kissed 2 girls. And I'm telling people, hey, here's how you navigate married life. So that you can join our church. And I just could see it. Like, they're like, okay, yeah, you're full of shit.
I'm surprised we convinced anybody of anything, and maybe we didn't.
Yeah, I don't think we did. And that's the other thing that makes it such a, like, I have to take out all of the church experiences from that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you just look at a church experience, worthless.
Yeah.
Every single person I converted has never been back to church. I'm 0 for however many.
My thing, for my mission, I feel like me and my companions baptized quite a few people.
Yeah.
But they were almost only people who approached us, or people who members were like, hey, this guy wants to get baptized, you should teach him.
Yeah.
Like slam dunks. Like,
right.
We didn't find anybody from knocking doors, street contacting. Sometimes you'd find somebody you could teach like twice.
Sure.
And then be like, that was a success.
Yeah.
But like basically what I'm saying is none of our efforts turned into anything. It was all like, oh, you're already here working hard, like here's somebody that you can convert, they're ready, or like they asked us, you know, like
right.
We didn't find anybody that got converted.
No. And that was the thing, it's like everybody we found, and some of them were like those slam dunks, but like even those people never reaffiliated with it. It was just another thing they did. I don't think they did it for us, but I think that they probably got caught up in this thing and then realized like, I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't want to pay 10% of my income.
No way.
I don't want to be around anymore.
I gotta go here 3 hours a week? This place is boring as hell. I'm not doing that.
I don't want to be around it anymore.
You don't want to go to church?
I don't want to be around anymore.
God, we should do a bit where we dress up like Carl Havoc in a missionary outfit, and we tell him
go convert,
and we got to go convert people at City Creek Mall. I feel like there's something in there.
Scrap it. All right, just scrap
Dump it. It's garbage. Dude, I think we did it.
I think we did. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. I don't even know how to close this out.
You know, just point at the camera some. Hey, thanks, boys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Smash that. Yeah, come on. I'm not paying you for this. Smash that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you back on Meta's favorite platform, Instagram.
Cool.
All right, cut. We did it.
Cut.
Oh, George.
Oh, thank God. I was like, there's a non-zero chance I didn't hit record.